Hi, I'm Matt Hinsley. I'm the Executive Director of the Austin Classical Guitar Society. And with me is the Miro String Quartet. I'm just delighted to be here with them. We have a really exciting project that's coming up on August the 4th at the Long Center in Dell Hall, 7:30 p.m. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me today. And we are super excited to be reuniting you with Jorge Caballero on August 4th at the Long Center in Dell Hall. Super excited to have a full program with the five of you collaborating. It's going to be a real exciting program. And I kind of want to talk about that. I want to talk about the program just a little bit, but I also want to talk about this other fun little element that we have going on, and that is Bill Norris is joining us that evening to make cocktails for us. And Bill was Austin's best mixologist in 2009, according to the Austin Chronicle Readers Poll. He was the best mixologist in 2010, according to the Austin Chronicle Readers Poll, and again in 2011. That doesn't happen on accident. He's been involved in some of the best-known, best-beloved bars and restaurants here in Austin, like Fino and Haddington's, and of course now he is heading up the beverage direction for the Alamo Drafthouse, 400 Rabbits, Midnight Cowboy, Highball, and all of that. And so he is going to be there on site with us as well. So we've got to talk about that and talk about the drinks that he's making in your honor and in Jorge's honor as well. The program starts with a Mozart string quartet. And Daniel, can you tell me anything about this Mozart string quartet?
Do we have to talk about the drink? Or talk about the drink?
Well, we can just talk about the drinks if you prefer.
Well, the Mozart that we're playing, this is actually our first Mozart quartet together with Will and the group.
Mm-hmm.
And we chose this particular Mozart because it has a very kind of mysterious and searching quality to it, but it's also very lyrical, which Mozart quartets have. But we found it very intriguing just because it's in some ways unlike any of the other quartets that he wrote. And this is one of the six quartets that were dedicated to the legacy of Haydn quartet, the quartets that Haydn wrote. And so he takes some elements of the style that Haydn used when he pioneered his string quartets, but definitely it's a very Mozart lyrical, very dramatic.
Wow.
And in some of the movements you can hear a little bit of his tribute to Haydn. But we enjoy playing it very much.
I can't wait to hear you all play it. Mozart just has that sort of clear expression that goes straight to your soul when you hear it, and in Dell Hall, which is such a gorgeous place. Really looking forward to starting the concert that way. The program has Mozart, Paganini. Jorge's going to play a big Bach suite, and you all are ending with Castelnuovo Tedesco. Yeah. So we're just an amazing array of some of the greatest composers that we know on this program. Whiskey Sour.
Whiskey Sour.
So wait, I have to back up and say that Bill Norris is making these drinks for us. And what I asked him to do was to make your favorite drinks. And so we have the Daniel, we have the Will, the Josh, the John, and of course the Jorge. So the Daniel is going to be a whiskey sour per your request. And so what is it about the whiskey sour?
Well, the whiskey sour actually was something that I didn't particularly enjoy drinking until I had one particular one in the beautiful city of Portland, Oregon. We were at a bar, and I decided that I would try whiskey sour just because it's something that's classic, simple. Yeah. I'm not particularly an avid whiskey drinker, but I decided to give this a try. And he brought out, the bartender at the time, he brought out a whiskey sour, and it had something special on. It had a little layer of foamy egg white at the top, and I said, "Whoa." Now I understand why this whiskey sour, and I think that's making a comeback now. With the egg whites, not all the bartenders get it. You know what I say? They're like, "What is that?" So I think Bill has been instructed. Very specifically that whatever he does to it, he cannot take that egg white away from whatever he can do whatever he wants underneath. But
and I know anyone watching is going to want to know, well, how do I get a hold of the Daniel when I arrive at this event? And the truth is that 90 minutes before the show, we're opening up the entire mezzanine floor of the Long Center, the Kodosky Lounge, clear across to the other lounge on the west side of the building. It's going to be a big cocktail party and cocktail lounge for 90 minutes before the show. Again, at intermission, you can take the drinks into the concert hall with you and be sipping the Daniel while you're listening to Daniel on stage, or the Will, or the Josh, or the John, or the Jorge. So, and then we're also going to have a little party afterwards that we think you all might join us and get to try your own drinks
say,
there after
yeah,
the show.
it's gonna be torture.
This is all part
90
of it.
minutes before is good with me.
Yeah, I mean, sounds
That's great. And intermission, that will make me
And
play
he said
better.
we could bring him in the hall. So
That's
maybe on stage seems very appropriate.
So, Will, your drink is a caipirinha. We've actually just been hearing from some Brazilian artists here at the Guitar Society. A couple of days ago, we had the Brazil Guitar Duo. They were fabulous. And then back in April, we heard for the first time in the United States an unbelievable Brazilian player named Yamandu Costa, and who really blew our minds. And so, caipirinha. We're in the mood for that. What is it? What's a caipirinha?
Oh, it's just a good drink.
It's
I don't
just a good drink.
what's in it.
Well, it starts with cachaça.
Cachaça, that's
Cachaça,
right.
which is a cane, sugar cane related alcohol, I believe. And they are unbelievably tasty. I know there's some lime juice in there. So this is just the first thing that popped into your head
Well,
when we asked you?
Well, I started to think about where we would be in August, what the temperature would be like. We'd be probably in the upper hundreds there, and be kind of humid. And I started to think about places I'd been that were like that. And used to spend a few weeks always in January in Brazil.
Really?
And the drink down there in January, you're hitting that humidity, you're hitting 110, 120. Is the caipirinha.
Wow.
And John and I had just been, the night before your question came in, been having some fun with some caipirinhas ourselves.
in Tennessee.
It was very fresh on my mind, and I thought that is a great drink for that type of weather.
Fantastic. And then, Josh, you are looking to involve some sparkling wine and gin.
Right.
In the same drink. I've never done anything like that, so you're treading new territory.
It's actually one of the original cocktails, one of the very first created cocktails ever, called the French 75, which is gin, champagne, fresh lemon juice, and a little bit of either simple syrup or some cane sugar or something like that. It's spectacular, and the reason it actually came into my mind is because a couple of years ago we were at a festival playing with this pianist Inan Barnatan, and he told me that he had, every summer he chose his drink for the summer.
Really?
And that's what he
Good
would,
man.
right, and that's what he would have. That would, like when you go to a bar, go to a reception or something, that's what he would drink. And so I was like, well, I need a drink for this summer at the festival. And so we were going through, and I was like, he actually suggested the French 75. And it's amazing. It's spectacular. It's refreshing. It's light. That gin, that little bit of sort of herbal with the lemon and the sparkling wine.
That's a delicious drink.
It is delicious.
Fantastic.
I'm curious to see what Bill's going to do with it.
Fantastic. So, John, I want to talk to you about two things, and we're going to start with the business first, and then we're going to get to the pleasure after that.
Okay.
So the business first is that on this program there is a Paganini quartet, and not a string quartet, but a quartet for violin, viola, cello, guitar. Is that right?
That's correct.
And I understand that there's a lot of viola to be had in this Paganini.
It's a
So
very
I'm gonna get your-
showy piece for the viola and for the guitar, actually for everybody. People forget that Paganini played the guitar, as well as the violin, and he played the viola quite a lot. And he wrote the Grand Partita for viola and orchestra. So I guess none of these instruments were hard for him. So he enjoyed writing flashy parts for all these instruments. So this piece particularly will give me something to do. It should be fun.
We tried to talk about it, but
No, I insisted. I insisted for my moment.
Fantastic. Well, that'll be the second half
That's
of
right.
the first half, if I'm not mistaken. So
Yes, first half.
that'll be great. And your drink, if I remember correctly, involves like a citrus soda and gin as well. And you were very particular about the thyme sprig garnish. So I'm curious about what that does for us.
Well,
what does the thyme do for
I
us?
have always been a big gin drinker.
Okay.
I love all kinds of herbal alcohols, whether it's aquavit or Russian homemade vodkas with herbs in them. I'm an herb guy, and I do like the combo of thyme and lemon particularly.
Wow.
I've been finding one of my favorite things to do when we're going out to the lake, going to Lake Travis, is to take one of these citrus sodas, dump a bunch of gin into the plastic bottle, and then in order to make it not taste like we just
dumped a bunch of stuff into a plastic
You
bottle.
have time spring. And it's amazing what a little time spring will do. When you
Freshens it right up.
uncork it, everyone thinks you mixed this and actually, it's a wonderful flavor. You know, the way the oils blend with the lemon and a little bit of sparkle into the
It's
the
a
tonic
bourgeois
water.
gin and juice.
It's exactly what it is.
Snoop Dogg would be proud.
I reveal my bourgeois and also my country roots.
I love it. I love it. Fantastic.
It should be fun.
And then you were also just recently on the Avery Fisher Hall stage, which I think is a big deal, and you were sharing the stage with some relatively heavy hitters. Not a big surprise to me, but it must have been kind of fun as well. I'm curious to hear about that, and I was also curious to hear about what else, besides the big show here in Austin, what else you got coming up on the calendar?
Well, we were invited to play as on a part of a concert given by the New York Film. It was a concert honoring the music of Henri Dutilleux, who is a living composer. He's 94 now, and they're starting to do this yearly prize where they're giving a composer an award in hopes that it'll elevate awareness of their music.
Yes.
Even though he's fairly famous already.
Yes.
But he couldn't make the trip himself, but the New York Phil played one of the most famous orchestral works, Metabol. And then we came out and played the only string quartet. So on the Avery Fisher Hall stage, little puny 4 people played 20 minutes. And then Yo-Yo Ma came out with the New York Phil and played his cello concerto. So it was a highlight, one of the highlights of string quartet, of our string quartet career anyway.
I'd say so.
Yeah, just to be able to share the stage with such great musicians and play for such a large, attentive New York audience. It was a blast.
Fantastic. Well, thank you all for taking this journey with us, for providing us with the secret recipes that Bill's going to transform into a magical, delicious delight for us on August the 4th. And we're so looking forward to this great concert. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.